follow me on Instagram to never ever miss any of my crazy updates. Hi guys and welcome to another vlog. I'm driving this. This is the second generation of the Audi Q3. This is the key of the vehicle. This is to unlock the car. This is to open the boot of the vehicle, and this is to lock the car. It is actually a flip key. Seems kind of dated because this is something you must have seen on older Volkswagen and Skoda cars in India. Anyways, this is like a mini Q7 sort of. The grille is bigger. Yes, this hexagonal grille is bigger. It has also got this gloss finish on it. The big Audi logo says Quattro right here. These are the parking sensors, so there are 4 of them, and this is the towing hook. You can see there's no fog light as such. Anyways, you know what? The lights are inspired from the Q8, so kind of angular and very aggressive. These are the DRLs, of course, and obviously these are full LED lights. Let's open the engine bay straight away. Obviously gas struts, insulation is there. Engine seems very silent and refined as well. There is where the washer fluid actually goes. And let's just shut this. Engine bay is big enough to accommodate a bigger engine, which we'll talk about when we're driving the car. There is this panel which is for ADAS, which is not there in this car, of course, because there are no ADAS functions offered by Audi in India as such. That is obviously the rain sensor. And coming to the side of the car, you realize one thing, that it is bigger than before, so it's marginally longer, and all that length has actually gone into the wheelbase. Meanwhile, it is actually longer and taller than its rivals, the Mercedes GLA as well as the BMW X1. Now, the tire size happens to be 235/55 18s. You see, there's good enough sidewall. The problem is that the alloy wheel design is very plain and basic. I don't know why car brands give the worst design of alloy wheels in India. Anyways, coming to the side of the car, like I was telling you, it doesn't look small. It has quite a lot of presence somehow, in spite of the fact that it is an entry-level car from Audi in India. In fact, this is the most affordable Audi you can buy in India because the Q2 is obviously discontinued. It is actually wider than the Mercedes GLA, but the X1 is wider. Says 40 TFSI Quattro right there. You get rear parking sensors. There's the towing hook. There's the rear camera, rear wiper. You get a spoiler with a high mounted stop lamp as well. Faisal Khan's fingers of truth. Disappointed with this fake exhaust thing. The real exhaust is actually placed right there. You've got them on both the sides. And let's open the boot. So I press this button, there opens the boot. It's obviously a power tailgate, but it also gets gesture, which means that if you stand here, the boot will open as long as you have the key. You don't have to press any button, but you can press the key and also open the boot, of course. Now, the boot is bigger by 70 liters. It's 530 liters, which is the same size as an Audi A6. It's big enough. There you get the first aid kit. There's some storage space there, a net which you can put on those hooks. And the spare wheel is actually smaller at 145/85/18. I think that's a subwoofer, and obviously very nicely arranged toolkit. I press this button, there closes the boot. It's a very nice looking car, especially in this orange color. Looks fantastic. Obviously it's got keyless entry, but only for the front doors, not the rear doors. And here there's some storage space as well. Now this splits in 40/20/40 format. So I just pull this like this, there it comes down. Okay, if I want to split it further, there's this button here I need to press. Okay, which will happen once this is up. Okay, I have to pull this and then only it will go up. So there you can see it's upright. So you can recline it further by pulling this, and then, oh my god, nice recline angle. Now I want to put this down, no problem. I actually push this button and there. So you want to carry long items, that can be done too. Obviously it has got a center armrest with twin cup holders. Yeah, and you can see the color is brown. You also have the option of beige. Everyone gets a head because every headrest is adjustable. There's light placement here on the top, and these seats actually move ahead and behind. But oh my god, this is so hard to operate. Yeah, there you see, if you want to increase the boot carrying capacity, you can do that as well. Quite a lot, huh? That's surprising. It's not needed because this doesn't have a third row, but still Audi has given this. Isofix child seat mounts, of course. And then there's good amount of knee room and leg room. In fact, there's something below which is hitting my leg at the moment. Okay, those are the vents for the air conditioning, but AC vents here as well. What is there here? What? There's no charging socket at the rear, which is quite surprising. Seat belts get the height adjust function. There's a hook here. There's a handle to hold on to. There's a hook here as well. It says airbag. It's got 6 airbags, of course. Scooped out seat bag, magazine holders. Under thigh support is not that great. Headroom is adequate for someone as tall as me, which is nice. Okay, door pockets are big enough. Tweeter, I believe. Really aggressive design. Quite like it. And it's actually soft. This is a little hard. but overall quality is actually very impressive. You can see the dashboard, it is also much improved because the infotainment system is now integrated into the dashboard very nicely. Earlier it used to pop out from ahead, so it used to be like an afterthought. Of course, air conditioning is a chiller, cabin is nice, you get this quarter glass as well. Anyways, let's get outside and let me shut the door. Smooth, nice. In fact, you can see the rear lights are also fantastic because they are obviously all LEDs, and here you can see the indicator, which is not a dynamic swipe one, which is a bit disappointing because for Audi I always want that to happen. Anyways, this seems to be a reflector. This is the rear fog light. On the other side, that actually is the reverse light, and there you can see the shark fin antenna, which is also finished in gloss. You get this roof rail, and I'm sure this is kind of usable to carry more stuff. Okay, this gets the heating function, I believe, and here you get electric adjust for both the front seats, 4-way lumbar adjust, you get a dead pedal there, you get a secret storage here, and there is the chassis number and engine number written. This thing is also placed here, sort of aluminium finish, but doesn't say anything. Here it tells you the details for the tire pressure. See, it's actually very nice and comfortable. Door pocket is also big enough and has this rubber inside, okay, rubber mat, so that things don't slide. This is to open the boot of the vehicle. These are the controls for the outside rear view mirror adjustment. There you see it's the heating function, and these are the controls for the power windows, which is one touch up and down. Obviously this is to lock the car, this is to unlock the car, rather this is to unlock, what am I saying, this is to unlock the car, this is to lock the car. Very nice, I like it. Only little bit hard plastics here and there. Now this is to do auto for the headlights, this is for the front lights, but why does it show headlight washer when it doesn't have it? This is for the rear fog, of course. So I'm just going to put it on auto at the moment. Come on, turn on. Okay, the dashboard is really very nice and impressive. I definitely like it. Now the glove box is lockable. Glove box is also decent sized, but you know what? Inside there is this massive thing. I think this is probably storage for this infotainment system. Says Quattro here. Nice aluminium finishing as well, and dashboard design is actually very impressive. This is of course auto dimming. Let's open the sun blind of the sunroof, so it gets a panoramic roof. It's not very fast in terms of opening. This is like kapada obviously, but still it does prevent heat from getting inside. And let's open the sunroof of the vehicle. There it opens. It's actually quite big. It brings in the airy feeling. Plus, the roof liner is actually finished in beige. That's about it. That's the maximum it opens, which is actually good enough as such. And overall comfort levels are nice. It's a very comfortable car. In fact, quality is good. Plenty of features on offer as well. Steering is a 3-spoke unit. You get paddle shifters here, of course. These are the controls for the cruise control. These are the controls for the indicators. These are the controls for the wipers. These controls are for the audio system. These are for that particular screen right there. And I love the way the design is done. It kind of feels like a premium car, and it is obviously a premium car. You get 2 cup holders here, and this is the key of the vehicle. This is the key of the A6, which does not slot in here, but this one does. Not really. So they have not really given a proper slot for that. 12-volt charging socket, electric parking brake, no auto hold function, which should be here. This slides ahead and behind. There's some storage space here, and here there is the Audi phone box or something. So basically wireless charging pad, 2 USB-C charging sockets, drive select, traction control, auto stop start system, hazard light, and parking sensors. So there are parking sensors, front and rear parking sensors, which is a good touch. Gear lever feels really nice to hold, and overall, yeah, hard plastics are there. Certain parts are actually soft, but for the most part you've got a lot of hard plastics. There's a mirror and light there, there's a mirror and light here. There's in fact a handle on the driver's side as well. Now let's do one thing. Let's actually get into reverse, and that is the reverse parking camera. You can see it has got adaptive guidelines. The quality of the camera is not the best, to be very honest, and then you can increase or decrease the volume of the same and all, but yeah, I didn't like the quality of the camera. Now this is actually a 10.1 inch screen, which is quite nice and fantastic to use. It's very slick, and then it has got navigation as well, which again is super duper in terms of quality. Quality of the screen is very nice. The thing is, I am actually going to get into car and lights and vision, because I'm going to show you background lighting. It has got 30 colors for the ambient lighting, 30 colors, and then you can decide how you want the brightness to be at the front and for the doors as well. So that's awesome. Now the thing is, you can see the cluster. Okay, here I can change the mode of the cluster. So this is the dynamic mode. So I'm just going to get into settings here, and I'm going to go into display and brightness, Audi virtual cockpit, and I'm going to change it to sport. Yes, change it now, and there you see it's changed. So it's a very easy to use system. In fact, look at this. Okay, I can get all the information in a touch. Yeah, that is the map view pretty nice, awesome, and same as what you have seen in other Audi cars. Let's listen to an audio right away. Audio quality is actually quite nice, but you can see this is actually a big fat fingerprint magnet. Thankfully, they've given physical controls here for the air conditioning, and again, the quality of the levers are just amazing. This rotary dial, it has this sort of nerd finishing, and air conditioning is a chiller. This is a dual zone climate control air conditioning system. There, I have shut it for the moment. So as I see it, quality levels are absolutely fantastic. This is the engine start button. You got physical control for going forward and behind on a track, as well as to control the volume, which is quite nice. I like it for sure. Now, as soon as I shut this car and open the door, yeah, 1 second, here, it tells me, do I want to make it as my own Audi? And obviously when you turn on the car, it's going to make that typical Audi sound. There you can see telltale lights are almost placed everywhere, and we are going to actually lock the car here. Lock the car, and mirror goes inside, of course. I'm going to keep this button pressed and see if all the windows actually open. They should, yeah, obviously all of them open there, and the sunroof also tilts. It doesn't open, but it tilts, which is kind of nice. Anyways, let's do one thing. Let's start driving right away. Alright, we're all set to go, which means turning off the air conditioning. I get into drive mode. Okay, I'll put the drive select into dynamic as well. We're going to turn off traction control, press it once. It says sport, and I keep it pressed, and then it will obviously shut off completely. There, it's completely off. We're going to turn on the navigation because it's so cool. Left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator, hazard light off. Revving the motor. Oh my god, revs till 3,500 RPM. Genuinely, the car actually surprised me with the pull. So it's very peppy because it's the most powerful car in the segment as well. So this is actually powered by a 2-liter TFSI engine, which is obviously turbocharged and also has direct injection. The power output is 190, which is 190 horsepower and 320 Newton meters of torque. You know what? The Audi Q2 also had the same engine with the same output. The Audi A4 has the same engine with the same output. So does the Skoda Kodiaq, the Skoda Superb, the Skoda Octavia, the Volkswagen Tiguan. Oh my god, this engine is shared with so many cars. In fact, bigger Audi cars also have the same engine, but in a different state of tune. It produces more power in the A6 as well as the Q5. Oh yeah, bumps. Which happens to be around 245 horsepower and 370 Newton meters of torque. 0 to 100 kilometers per hour comes up quickly in 7.3 seconds, and the top speed is 222 kilometers per hour. The car really pulls nicely. Turbo lag is well contained, and the mid-range is really very strong. So the mid-range is very punchy, and then in the top end it becomes vocal. It's very refined, it's very smooth. You can't hear a thing at all. It's only once it goes past 4,000 RPM, then it becomes vocal. In a good way actually, but it's kind of subdued. It's not very sporty. It's that smooth sporty sound coming from the engine. Now this engine is obviously mated to a 7-speed dual clutch automatic gearbox, which happens to be obviously dual clutch. Okay, the thing is, it's decently quick with shifts. It's not very fast as such, but you know, it gets the job done. Doesn't hesitate though, and it will give you a shift. Plus you obviously have manual controls using the paddles as well, so you can use that too. Redline comes in under 6,500 RPM. The VW group engines, they just do not rev very high, other than Porsche of course. That's the reason when I was driving the Bugatti Veyron recently, I'm like, oh, 6,500 RPM only. But then it has a huge W16 engine. Okay, let's keep the Bugatti out of the way here right now. Now this engine is used in so many cars, it's absolutely baffling. You know, it's like the national engine for the VW group, and it is such a fab engine. It's so smooth, refined, punchy performance, everything is there. Mileage is between 9 to 12 kilometers per liter depending on your driving style, which brings me to the lack of diesel engine, which is still missed actually, because they're offering the 2-liter diesel abroad, but they've removed it from the Indian market. Like India has no diesel engines from the VW group because of stringent norms and all, but you still have a 2-liter diesel engine in the Q3 abroad. Now this car, the second generation model, was launched in 2018. Audi continued to sell as the first generation model till 2020, when it was eventually discontinued because BS6 emission norms came into play and this car would not meet them, so they discontinued it. So the Q3 has made a comeback after 2 years, but this new generation model has come after 4 years of its global debut. So more than half the life cycle of this car is already gone. So it's come pretty late, and the reason for the delay is Audi wanted to get the bodybuilder first, which is of course the Q7. Yeah, they actually call the Q7 the bodybuilder in their press kit information, which is kind of surprising. And anyways, so this is based on the MQB platform, of course, which also underpins the Tiguan as well as the Kodiaq. And you won't believe it that it drives better than its rival somehow. So in terms of sportiness, I would say obviously this is not really sporty. It's like a typical Audi tune here, which is more inclined towards performance, like with the petrol engine with so much power, but honestly it's all about comfort here. So the suspension is tuned to comfort, the steering is tuned towards comfort. I mean, it's nice and light, it weighs up at higher speeds as well, but you know what, it doesn't have that much of feel or feedback as such. But most people will not complain. It's actually a fun car to drive, which you would expect. Making a quick overtake, no problem at all. We are in manual mode right now. It will not hold on to a gear. Yeah, it just doesn't hold on to a gear. Now, over such roads, little bit of suspension noise can be heard. This is kind of amplified in Audi petrol cars because of the refinement from the engine here. Bump, oh yeah, it does move around a bit, but overall ride is actually quite nice. It's very smooth, it's very refined, and it's just very good. Yeah, the ride is quite likable, I would say, honestly. So what you're going to do is we are actually going to get into the Audi virtual cockpit quickly, and I'm going to change the cluster mode here. Yeah, I've just changed it here, and I'm actually going to get into the car mode. Before that, left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator, revving the motor. Yeah, nice. So the reason I got into this mode is because we are getting into a tunnel right now, which means I have the opportunity to actually show you the ambient light. You can see this color actually changes. Yeah, the Quattro written on the dashboard above the glove box, that changes the color according to the ambient light color. And I don't know what's wrong with this road. You can hear a bit of the vibrations inside, which is very baffling. So I'm just going to go through the ambient lighting quickly so you can see that as well. Nice ambient lighting. I love the way the Quattro thing, you know, actually lights up according to what ambient light color you are in. And here I can get in the view mode immediately. I just wish that changing this cluster mode would be a lot easier. You know, I find it a little cumbersome because you have to go into the menu, then you have to confirm that you want to change. Now obviously I want to change that mode. That's the reason I'm pressing a button. What's there to confirm? It's not like I'm launching a rocket or something. So yeah, that could be slightly better. But yeah, ambient light colors are actually nice. Obviously there are 30 colors, they're not 64 colors, which is offered even by Hyundai now. So yeah, Audi needs to up the game there by offering more ambient light colors. Yeah, that's that. It's quite nice actually. And the horn is nice as well, like typical German horn sort of a thingy. Now the thing is that manual control should have been there. That would have been really nice. This car also rivals the Volvo XC40, which only comes in hybrid, guys, which is also attractively priced. This is the most expensive car in the segment, but then no one's going to complain because Audi is loaded with a lot of features. And obviously I'm going to compare it with the Mercedes GLA, and I'm also going to compare it with the BMW X1. The current X1 doesn't have a chance against this car. Obviously this is the new generation model, but trust me on this, I have sat in the new X1 in Germany, and it's a very likable car, well loaded with a lot of features, and that's something which is going to be coming to India soon. So the competition is going to be strong between these cars. The GLA is also loaded with a lot of kit and all, but it just doesn't have the road presence. I think in terms of road presence, the Q3 is fantastic. I won't even consider the Volvo because I don't like it. It just doesn't feel like a Volvo should. It feels like a cut price car, although it has a lot of features. This doesn't feel cut price in any way, and that's the beauty of this Q3. The Q3 is a car, when you drive it, it doesn't make you feel cheap. It doesn't make you feel like you've bought an entry-level car from Audi, and it definitely doesn't feel cut price in any way. And obviously it can't be because it's quite expensive also, but then car prices are going through the roof. Overall, I would say the Q3 has come back. Very likable car, although they should have actually given us a hybrid, because if you're not giving diesel, at least give us a hybrid. That's what Volvo is doing. Okay, Volvo is offering hybrid and then also offering full electric with the XC40 Recharge. This car could do well with a hybrid motor because that would improve the performance, the fuel efficiency as well. But then Audi's like, government is not giving us benefits for getting a hybrid. Why should we? And with a 1.4 liter engine with that hybrid motor, well, obviously fuel efficiency would be good, performance would also be quite good. The performance of this car is very, very, very nice. I didn't think that the performance would be so good, but it is actually quite good. And you know what? This cluster mode is not that good because why do they have this in the corner? In the center, if it would have been so nice as well. So anyways, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get into settings, and here I'm going to change the cluster mode, Audi virtual cockpit. There's this sport mode. I'm going to get into sport. Honestly, classic and sport now, they don't feel very different as such. Let's turn on the navigation here, and here I get into the view mode as well. So these guys are actually putting the cones here so that I can do the slalom test to show you how this car is. So here we go with the slaloms. Yeah, you can feel there is considerable body roll, which is expected because everything is more towards the softer side, as is the case usually with Audi cars. But you're not going to complain because that softness is quite beneficial as well. And then, you know, they get the tire profile right for India, like 55 profile, nice sidewall as well, which means it absorbs most of the thing in its stride without much of a hindrance. And then around the corners, you can see it maintains its line. There's good amount of grip. Wheel spin doesn't happen because this is quattro, so it's more front bias power delivery, but you know, you can actually take it off-road. Ground clearance is also ample enough. Now there are 5 drive modes on offer. Here we are going to get into drive select, and you can see there's efficiency, there's comfort, there's auto, there's dynamic, and there's individual. Basically in individual you can change only 2 things, which is the drive, the engine and the gearbox, which you can either make it efficient, balanced or sport, or you can also change the steering wheel, and you can see it doesn't have that feel in the center head position. Now the thing is that when you actually change these modes, now you don't feel much of a difference as such, so that could be more differentiated. And when you change the steering wheel, you can do it in comfort, balanced or sport. So right now we are in sport, of course, and it does feel quite nice and sporty to drive this car. Only thing is that the suspension doesn't feel that sporty, neither does the steering wheel, but definitely the engine feels very sporty. It has that aggression towards it. It has that, you know, power and punch, and that just reminds me that we should probably come to a halt here. Here I've turned on the hazard lights. Horn sounds better now. Right now, view change here. Left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator, revving the motor. It didn't rev much, and off we go. So even with the traction control off, it does not do the wheel spin which I was expecting. I'm like, okay, it should wheel spin. No, it does not, because obviously quattro system now, so it will power, it will send power to the rear wheels and no chance of a wheel spin. In the A6, I can wheel spin it like mad. Goes bonkers wheel spinning because all the power is going to the front wheels. Of course, now we didn't do the wiper test. We should do right now. You can see, yeah, nice wipers, nice spray, and I am bouncing all over the place because what is this road? Absolutely crazy. So the USP of the Q3 is, oh my god, the rear wiper also turned on. Maybe I must have hit the wrong button. Anyways, the USP of this Q3 is that it's a car which offers you the premium feel. It offers you plenty of features, and then of course, yeah, I'm just using the rear wiper as well, washer fluid ke saath. So it's an easy car to drive, easy car to park, and that's fantastic. And that's the reason why I always like the Q3, because I think it's a very nice car. In fact, since 10 years or 15 years since the time this car has launched, it was actually in 2011 when it was launched and came to India soon enough, I've always preferred the Q3 over the GLA and the X1. I like the X1 also. I think the X1 is also a fantastic car, but the problem with the X1 is that the X1, the first generation model, had a very hard steering wheel, so it was quite difficult to drive, and it was like a workout. The Q3 has always been very comfortable. With that diesel engine, I loved it because the X1 was extreme sporty. The Q3 has always been more comfort oriented, and then they had the Q3 Sport. That one actually used manual gearbox, so that was super fun. A diesel engine with a manual gearbox, that was the car to buy, because when I drove it, I enjoyed it more than an AMG or an RS model, because just imagine you're shifting gears, that gives you even more feel while driving. And they priced it around 25 lakhs ex-showroom that time. Now obviously prices are almost double. By the way, this car also comes in a sportback version, which is the coupe version, just for grabbing more eyeballs. Probably they should get it into India. However, the car I want them to get to India to rival the A45 and the GLA 35 happens to be none other than the RS Q3. Yes, a baby RS Q8 also exists with a 2.5 litre turbocharged petrol engine, which is a 5-cylinder unit producing 400 horsepower and 480 Newton meters of torque. 480 Newton meter mein, you can imagine what's going to happen, and you won't believe it. That car goes from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in just 4.5 seconds. It has a terrible ride, but it is super duper fun to drive. Obviously, it has to be, because it is at the end of the day a car which is very sporty oriented, and if it's launched in India now, it will cost almost 1 crore, but trust me, there'll be a lot of buys. I hope they get it to India before everything goes electric. By the way, here I slot the gear lever into manual mode. Okay, we are into first gear, and then we hit a ton of traffic as well. I think the fuel tank capacity of this car is around 63 liters, which isn't bad, and there are 2 variants on offer. There's the Premium Plus and there's the Technology, and this is the higher variant, which costs almost rupees 60 lakhs on road Mumbai. So quite expensive when compared to rivals, but then also I think it's better than its rivals in many ways. Let's wait till the new X1 is launched in India, because that's a car which will definitely give this car good competition as well. So if you're looking for comfort, this is a car which really excels. And now Audi is also giving 5 years of warranty on this car, and they are also throwing in like 3 years 50,000 kilometers of a service package for the first 500 customers. So I think this is the right time to buy this car if you want that peace of mind which comes with all the warranties and the service package and the likes. And obviously feel good factor is fantastic here, and yeah, there it doesn't hold on to a gear, it doesn't give me complete manual control of things, even though the gearbox is like 3 modes. There's a D mode, which is dry mode, there's a sport mode which will try and hold the revs higher, and there's a manual mode which honestly doesn't really aggressively downshift. It's like, okay, you're in manual mode, I will not downshift, but I will upshift for sure. So that's a bit of a bummer. I just wished the car was a bit louder on the inside, things were a little stiffer and all, but my wish can be granted with the RS Q3. So yeah, just wait for that probably. So the Premium Plus is actually priced at 53,61,000 on road Mumbai, and this technology is actually priced more than 60 lakhs. I thought under 60, no, it's 60,11,000 on road pricing, of course. And now because you've hit so much traffic, it's time to end. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this vlog, make sure to give it a thumbs up, that's the like button. Also subscribe to the channel. Another thing is, Audi is not offering ADAS functions which Mercedes offers with the GLA. Honestly, I find ADAS useless in India, so thank God it doesn't have forward collision warning. Save that money and give us a more attractive price proposition or more horsepower. That's the way to go. And the lack of diesel could have been like circumvented by offering a hybrid, but a hybrid is not available, unfortunately. Come on Audi, give us a hybrid, give us RS Q3, give us RS Q3. Again, I said that, but I want the RS Q3 so bad that I actually was telling, give us the Q3 Sportback as well. That would be so nice too. Yeah, you get onto the throttle, it juts ahead. The only thing is this gearbox has a mind of its own. Sometimes it lets you launch by revving till 3,500 RPM. Other times it's like, nahi bhai, tu mat kar aise. You are going to launch at 1100, 1500 RPM. By the way, the mileage is saying 6.8 kilometers per liter at the moment, because obviously my right foot is itching, and then